Hiya! Thank you for joining me for my review of Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok stars Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Idris Elba. It's got Tom Hiddleston, Cate Blanchett, Jeff Goldblum, Tessa Thompson, Carl Urban is also in the film, and a load of other people, including the director Taika Waititi, who has a small part in the film as well, an excellent part, I have to say. I'm a massive fan of Taika Waititi. I love his style of humour. What We Do in the Shadows is well up there with the likes of Spinal Tap, for example, as a mockumentary style film. And I really like his sense of humour. He's got a quite quirky, very much an individual Taika Waititi style, and I really like that. I thought it's something that comes across uniquely in this film. It's similar to a sort of Edgar Wright type touch where you see his kind of approach coming through a film, and I really like that. So going into Thor Ragnarok, I have to say, ever since the first trailer's come out, I've been absolutely 100% on board for this film. I've been super looking forward to this one. It's probably my most anticipated film of the year, I have to say. Far more so than Star Wars, far more so even than Justice League, for example. I'm massively up for this film. I thought the previous couple of films were okay. You know, they were good films. I quite liked Thor. I didn't think Natalie Portman was all that bad. I thought that there were some interesting things in the film. There was nice things to look at within the Thor films, particularly Chris Hemsworth, who, you know, you have to say is a phenomenally talented guy. In many ways, he's a very talented guy. And I think in these films he's outstanding. For me now, he is my Thor. He is Thor to me. When I think of Thor, I think of him. That's really it for me now. The comic adaptation for me, he's number one. So this film tells an interesting story. Obviously, the title of the film, Ragnarok, which if you know anything about Norse mythology, is the end of all things. So clearly there's some kind of devastating event coming Thor's way, and as usual, we're expecting Thor to put it off. Now, if you see the trailers, you'll know there's a lot of humour in this film. The trailers have been very funny. They did those little shorts that they published and put out there showing Thor sort of on his day off, as he was absent from the events of some later films, Civil War, for example. So he wasn't around for those, what he was doing, sort of, you know, not being called on by Tony Stark and the guys. And there's a lot of inbuilt humour from Taika within this. It's by far and away the funniest film in the Thor series. It's by far and away the funniest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to date. Much funnier than Guardians of the Galaxy. And for me, the humour really hits very well. There's a couple of moments that are, and I mean, this film is stacked with humour, full of it. And there's a few moments that don't work for me. And I think to be able to say something like that is fantastic, really. To be able to say there's just a couple of moments in a film so big. It's by far and away the funniest film I've watched this year. I can say that without a doubt. It's outstanding, outstandingly funny film. It's got great characters, introduces new characters in a really interesting way. So we get introduced to Tessa Thompson as the character of Valkyrie. We're introduced to Korg, who is voiced by Taika Waititi and is absolutely the standout humorous character of the film. Loved the guy. We have Tom Hiddleston coming back as Loki. Again, he's fantastic as Loki, and right from the start of this film, they basically sort out any outstanding questions about Thor and Loki and what's going on in their lives, and just crack on with the main story. And I thought that was fantastic. It's an incredibly colourful film. The pacing is great. It's long, as most Marvel films are, but I didn't feel it was overly long in any way whatsoever. I thought it was just constant action, humour, almost like a buddy cop type film, that kind of, you know, 48 hours type thing going on at certain points. Really funny action comedy. Mark Ruffalo is fantastic. The weaving elements of the Planet Hulk storyline into this film, which I only read quite recently actually, in preparation for this. I read up on Planet Hulk just to get a bit of an idea of what I should be expecting within these films. And having seen the events of those comic series, I think they did a great job. I thought Jeff Goldblum was outstanding as the Grandmaster. He's Jeff Goldblum in every way that you'd expect him to be, but it really fits well. Nice little asides, little moments between characters. and there's a lot here to really latch on to and enjoy. So I have to say, I love this film. I thought it was exactly what I was looking for. Having seen Taika Waititi's other work, knowing the director, I went into this with an idea of what I was going to get, and he delivered. He delivered in spades. For me, if you were not familiar with his work, I think you might go in there thinking, what is this? I don't get what's going on here. There's, what's this tone? But if you know the director, if you know his work, if you manage to take the time to actually look up some of his work and you prepare yourself for this, I think you'll have a fantastic time. It's one of those films you should just give yourself over to it. Just go with it. Let it do its job and enjoy it for the ride. So I gave Thor, look, I think this is a high score for Thor Ragnarok, but I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I loved it. Humour was outstanding. Chris Hemsworth was amazing. It wrapped up its storyline really well. And I haven't even talked about one of my favourite things. I love Cate Blanchett. Ever since Lord of the Rings, ever since she played Galadriel in Lord of the Rings, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I love Cate Blanchett. I really admire her as an actress. I think she's fantastic. I would love to have a crack at her makeup as she used in Thor Ragnarok, but I don't have the cheekbones for it, unfortunately. There you go, it's my loss. But yeah, this is as close as I'm going to get to that, I think. But I loved her in the film. I thought she was great. Really good villain for once. Marvel doesn't, as we know, make the best use of its villains, and I don't think they've built in this film a great villain for all time. But with the combination of Loki and Hela, you've got so much good stuff going on in this film. It's really, really good. So 9 out of 10 for me. I loved it. Give it a chance. Well worth going to take a look. Even if you're a bit burnt out with this whole supposed comic book movie fatigue or superhero fatigue. I don't know what that means. But if you like funny films, if you like action films, go see this. It's great stuff. Really, really great stuff. So, thank you for watching my video. If you've seen it, let me know down below. Let me know what you think. If you haven't seen it, again, let me know down below. If you're going to see it, interested in this one, any thoughts on the whole Marvel, where we're going next. I did catch a trailer for Black Panther, and that looks really good as well. Looking forward to that one next. So, let me know down below. Leave me comments, etc. Feel free to like, share and subscribe, as always. And bye! Bye! They don't rattle. My skulls. See ya.